It's Mac and Perry in the place. Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry.
Go live to create.
Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry invite you to stay.
Welcome to the Windy City's Finest On Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and this is...
Cindy, Shropshire of Cindy's Art.
Great. Well, yeah, thanks so much for meeting with us, Cindy. We're in Medicine Hat in your studio. We're super excited to learn about your art and what you do and talk all about that. But first I thought we'd kind of get to know you. We'd play a few little games and it'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. We're going to do some trivia, some Medicine Hat trivia. I'm going to ask you a few questions. And then just A, B, C, or D. So you just pick which one, and we're going to learn a bit about Medicine Hat. All right. This will be a really simple one. Super simple. So Medicine Hat is halfway between A, Lethbridge and Moose Jaw, B, Vancouver and Winnipeg, C, Edmonton and Bozeman, Montana, or D, Alaska and South Carolina. We're halfway, Medicine Hat.
Well, I'm going to go with the... Was it the... I already forgot what you said.
Lethbridge, Moose Jaw.
Yeah, that one.
That one? Yeah.
That one.
No, it's not
No?
actually. Yeah, no. It is Vancouver and Winnipeg. So it's exactly halfway between Vancouver and Winnipeg. If anyone's going that way,
I know.
maybe we can give you a ride. Yeah, see, you didn't know. Who knew? Cool. All right, we're going to go back in time a little bit here. You know, back when it was first developed, when Medicine Hat was first, became a place that people lived. So it was rich in natural resources, including natural gas, coal, clay, all those things. So Medicine Hat was first known as A, the Fort Worth above the 49th, B, the Pittsburgh of the West, C, the Memphis of the North, or D, the Phoenix of the Prairies. What they used to call it back in the day when they were coal and clay and railroads and gunslingers. What do you think?
I'm just going to say Phoenix because it's so hot here.
Yeah, it's actually the Pittsburgh of the West.
Well.
That's a fact that I looked up. Yeah. Because it was like...
sent me that book.
Right, yeah. Just because there was so much like development, and I guess Pittsburgh is a same kind of lots of natural resources.
I wasn't thinking of all those refineries or whatever they have.
That's how it first started. So now you know a bit more about Medicine Hat. I'm going to pull out a little piece of paper, and then it'll be this or that, and it'll be one thing or the other.
Okay.
And hey, I just pulled this one out, so let's start with that one.
Go ahead.
This one says pay for parking or risk it. Do you if you're just like 5 minutes, or do you always pay? What's your preference?
It's a 50-50, depending on where I'm parking. I'll risk it sometimes, yeah.
Swim or suntan, which do you prefer?
Well, I'm not a very good swimmer, so I'll go into suntanning, but suntanning lasts about 3 minutes, and then I'm done with the sun.
Yeah, not much sun, yeah, fair enough, yeah. So the next is the Tumbling Towers game. And so with this, we play the Tumbling Towers, and we pick out a number, and then it will correspond to an open-ended question, very philosophical. So you can start. Pick out whatever.
Any...
You can't start the top three, just those are out. Has to be this or lower.
Like this one?
Sure. 37. What's one thing you're always misplacing?
My husband would say my keys. But if you probably walked around this house, you've seen all the glasses around here. So often I'm losing my little readers everywhere and having to search for those. And I say I put my keys where they're supposed to be, so I'll blame it on the husband.
Okay.
He knows. He's good about that.
Good plan. Yeah. Let's pick another one. I guess, it's your turn. Choose wisely.
Choose wisely. Oh, no pressure.
We've never tumbled the towers yet, so today is not the day. Nice. 15. Who is the most interesting person that you've met that you can think of?
One time I went to see, if we're going to keep it on an art-related thing, is Robert Bateman. And so I went to one of his talks many years ago because I was a big fan of his, and he was talking about all his different, touring around the world and learning about the environment to do his paintings and stuff. And And then I got to hear a little bit about how he wants to keep the environment, let us look after the environment. And I'm big on, past life, I was a habitat technician too, so I also believe in looking after our Mother Nature. So that was a cool experience.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think actually that is all the time we have for this segment. But yeah, thank you so much for chatting with me. It's been fun to play these games.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so this has been the Windy City's Finest On Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and this is
Cindy.
All right, we will be back soon.
Hello and welcome once again to the Windy City's Finest On Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Perry, he's Mac, and this is
Cindy, Shropshire.
Nice. Yes. Thank you so much for having us in your space and taking the time to talk with us. I'm super excited to dive into our kind of in-depth interview with you. And yeah, just kind of get to know more about your practice and what people might be able to learn from you. And yeah, I think I usually start pretty general and broad, and it's just like, what can you tell me about your art? I know we have a bit of it behind us, and we'll dive into that in the showcase specifically, but what can you tell me about your art, just generally speaking, to start?
Well, currently I like to do pet portraits, and I do paint parties, I do some teaching, and I'm really invested in my pet portraits. I really like to do those, meeting the people, meeting the pets. Well, that's a little bit of a selfish thing, because I tell my clients, I say, and if you do a portrait over a certain amount, I'll come and do a photo shoot for you for free.
Oh.
And they think that's fabulous. That's really good. But really, it's a selfish need for me to meet all these pets, and they're just adorable. I love meeting them, and it just turns out to be hilarious. So yeah, I dabble in all kinds of different mediums. My two best are pastels and watercolors, but I do acrylics, and I've done oils. I do wire sculptures, little wire sculptures. So I've done a lot. I've experienced a lot. I guess some of the ones that I haven't, that I just don't have the room or storage or anything, is I always was inspired by those big, large metal smithing sculptures, or even stained glass. I've enjoyed all that kind, but I just keep trying. I do the resin and the acrylic pours, so I really enjoy doing a bunch of different things.
Yeah, a bunch of different things. I love that. It's kind of like a diverse skill set. And I'm curious, do they influence each other in any way, or are some of them completely separate things?
Well, some of them, I would say, like the pastels are kind of a little bit on their own, but you can do the watercolor and the acrylics. You can do those together. You can sort of, motion stuff is in painting, I can sort of take that over to, say, wire sculpture, just to get motion. You want to create motion. So I guess it depends on what it is that the subject matter is, but yeah, they can help feed each other, feed off of each other a little bit.
They can intersect a bit.
Yeah. I remember when I was younger, I would go to the library and pick out the books, the animal books, and I would just copy and start drawing from those, and that's kind of a start there. The pet thing, I think, started when I was out in BC. I lived there for a while, and started offering to do people's pets that way. And I think then I thought, this pet thing is a good thing. And like I say, I enjoyed it. I would go to people's places and take pictures of their pets to get their personalities and get the right moment. And so I've been doing that for about over 20 years now. So I just like pets. I like animals way more than I like people.
You know what?
No
That
offense.
is fair. No, that's super fair. They're so honest.
Right, and their personalities are hilarious. Just did a recent one with some pocket beagles, and they were hilarious. There was they're like half the size or smaller than a regular beagle. and one was Missy, and she was the demure one. She's just the sweetheart, the little princess. And then there's Molly, and she was the mischief maker. And she knew I had treats in my pocket.
Of
and
course.
so she kept digging at my pocket to get these treats. So we're trying to, you know, and then the hilarious thing with most of these photo shoots is you're on the floor, you're rolling around with the pets and the pups and trying to get these photos that are going to be, you know, the good portrait for the portrait. And it just, it becomes hilarious because I think if somebody took a video of what all that was going on, that would be amusing. That would be a animals video or whatever. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, you can have a little BTS camera in the corner while you're doing the photo shoot.
That's right.
What can you tell me about that process of really getting to know the personality and how that influences your work when you're working on a portrait?
Well, and that is a challenge because sometimes I do the photo shoot a little not right away. So I got to try and remember when I do it, the personality. And I was telling my husband that the other day. I says, I need to start writing some of this down. But mostly when I'm going there is you want to look for the shot that I keep asking the client to say, okay, we got to warm up first. It's kind of like you warmed up with me with the games, right? So we do that with the pets, with treats, play a little, laying on the floor half the time, right? So they're not intimidated by me. And then they start to get to know you and they're jumping around and then they're jumping all over you. And then we got to settle them down and try and get those shots like where I'm really trying now, not for your standard portraits where it's just a headshot, 3/4 shot, whatever that may be. And they're good, they're fine, they're beautiful. But those ones now that touch your heart where they're laying their head on the pillow or they're, you know, laying down or they're looking down or they're looking up, their personality, or like a cat I did where it was on the fence and he's looking up but he's under these spruce trees. And it's just like those are the shots I really want to get because when they lose their pet, then they're going to remember that, right? I mean, that's going to get you right here.
What made you want to start painting? I know we kind of learned a little bit about how you kind of started, but like, what was it? Was it that draw for nature and animals?
Yeah, I've always, like, I've just always been a creative. Like, just always making things, crafting things, painting, drawing. Like that was my favorite class in school. And then I went to ACAD for a year. And that's the first time I actually ever got A's in anything was artwork. Because, you know, I didn't like math or anything like that, right? But amazingly, there's a lot of math in art. You know, you have to figure out square footage if you're painting a wall. You have to figure out angles sometimes. You have to do your perspectives. So it is very, you know, you still need your math, but I was encouraged and it was kind of a realization that this was the right path I liked to be on. But I still strayed for that. I mean, when I wanted to do that, it wasn't something that people really went out and did. So I ended up doing administrative work, and I was in the environment and fish and wildlife for quite a few years. And it's really only been recently in the last 5 years that I'm wishing I might have taken this path a little earlier. So I'm enjoying it right now. I think it's very good for me. You just keep marching on. You know, you can't be a quitter. And so many times is you want to, I don't like it. But there's times too with artwork, and you've probably heard this, is the ugly stage. So many times you get there and you're thinking, oh, this is bad. I actually did a portrait recently and it was bad and I wasn't happy with it. So I redid it. And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm not giving this to a client who's paying me money for it. And if I'm not satisfied with it, then I need to stop there and start over. Take a breath and start over. I don't do that very often because you really do get better at overcoming some of those challenges and making them work for you, you know, or you have to draw over something and nobody's going to know. You know, sometimes I get people that give me, like you say, they give me pictures that just, they're not great, like they're blurry or whatever. But I've been able to overcome that now with, you know, going on the internet. It's easier with pets than with people, and I steal an eye from here and stick it on my picture, my reference picture, and I'm able to overcome that. And then the client is so happy, right? They're so happy, and they're good. But I do always tell them, I said, no red eye, no black eye, no blurry eye, because you're going to know your pet. You're going to know your pet, but they don't understand the process sometimes. They don't understand why you're all over them about that. And what they think they're sending you is going to be good. But I will say the portrait is going to be as good as what you send me. But often it's much better than that, even if I have those challenges.
Totally.
When I teach, just recently I was teaching a watercolor class, and my students, I say, you're not going to come out with a Rembrandt. You're going to come out with a Picasso. Okay? You're here to learn techniques. You can't be invested too much. I mean, you might create something really cool, and that's awesome. And I hope that for you. But then don't beat yourself up because you can't. I mean, this is like, you're here. This is the first time you're learning this. So you can't beat yourself up about learning. I mean, you have to keep practicing it. I didn't get to where I was because one day I just went down and I drew this dog and it was just awesome. It doesn't work that way. You got to keep trying it, and you got to keep working at it. And I think they get frustrated because they can't do it. And sometimes when I'm teaching them, I'm thinking, well, you know, I'm not doing that awesome today. But I see that I'm able to convey that to them, and that's my biggest thing, is this is the technique that you do it. And your days will, your work will depend on how your day is too, how you're feeling that day.
Yeah, I really appreciate how you're acknowledging that kind of like fluctuation in the idea that progress is not necessarily linear.
I don't sit down and do a portrait all at one sitting. Sometimes I'll have two on my board, depending on timelines and kinds of things. But I'll do a bit, I'll do a bit, and then I stand back and look at it. And I keep doing that. And sometimes I've told students too, is flip it upside down sometimes, just so, are you getting, is it looking right? Because that's the importance. When a client sees it, they want to see that sparkle. They want to see that personality. And so it's important to keep stepping back and looking at things. And yeah, I don't just sit and do it. I have to keep looking at it.
I love that. It sounds like a kind of process of reflection. Which I think is always valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah. We mentioned, you know, classes and talking with students. So I really wanted to touch on that really briefly. Like, when did that start? When did you start kind of teaching?
Well, I did many years ago. I did a drawing class, and that was fun because it's usually people ask me, because when I'm drawing that, well, do you teach? Do you teach? And so I did that, and that was fun. And I enjoyed it. I enjoy when the light bulb moment goes on for someone when they're doing something, or just when they're so happy with themselves on achieving something. And so when I was here in Medicine Hat, I'd get the same, well, I joined the Medicine Hat, or the Hat Art Club here, and there was some requests for me to do some teaching. So I've done that with the watercolor, and a lot of the, again, like they're they're so awesome, these people that are learning it, and it's just so much fun to see them be excited about it. You know, they get frustrated sometimes, and I try and help them out of that and show them new techniques. So it's exciting. I enjoy doing that.
And yeah, just that idea of learning seems to come up. Would you consider yourself a lifelong learner, or?
Always.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just not enough time in the day. Like, you talk to many artists. I mean, I guess that's why I don't seem to have a style. I don't feel I have a style, but it's because there's just so many things out there that I want to do and try that it'll never happen in my lifetime, right? There's just so many things that I'm always trying something. Lately, creating art has become, it's kind of my safe haven. I mean, it also is a good for your health, you know, to keep you grounded and to get away from some of that society noise or whatever, and you just need to do your own thing. And I continue to do that, and I know it's my safe space, and I don't have to worry about anything. And I think it's a healthy thing to have. It's just, you need to have that healthy way to get out of all that society noise.
Yeah, awesome. I think my very last question that we try to ask everybody is just, how has your artistic practice changed you as a person, do you think?
I think I've become a little more patient because everybody's on their own journey. And I used to think that I was better than everybody. I could paint this better than everybody. And it's a pretty conceited attitude to have, really. But you're young and you're trying out, and you're going to, you know, you're out there to get the world. But now I've realized, and I especially realize when I'm meeting with all these other people and teaching them, that everybody's on their own journey and on their own level of expertise. And if I can help them, I'm happy to do that. They can help me, make me move forward. I think that's where that has gone. It's pretty kind of cool, really.
Yeah, that's amazing. Sounds like a sort of give and take, and yeah, patience with that process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Well, I think that's all the time we have for this segment. So thank you so much for sharing your insight and wisdom with us. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody, be it on the live stream or otherwise. This has been the Windy City's Finest, On Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Perry, he's Mac, and this has been
Cindy.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Windy City's Finest, On Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and this is
Cindy.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for coming back to chat with me, Cindy. Yeah, so we've talked about yourself, we've talked about your art, but now we want to actually see it and talk more about it, because it's awesome.
I'd be happy to.
I'm glad, yeah. So we've got a few pieces that we picked out that we really liked, and there's a story behind, and I'm really, really excited to learn about each piece. So let's start with this one. Tell me about this piece.
That one is Henry. So he was done a few years ago, and this was another photo shoot. He was kind of a dapper little guy. We went out to a park nearby and did quite the photo. So he's been my poster. He's one of my poster childs that I use to promote my artwork with. And he's a cutie. He's done in pastel. And the client was very happy to have that one. She was laying in the grass. I'm trying to get the right picture. Trying to get him to go, get the right look for him. And she's laying there. And it was kind of funny because it was a bit cool. I think it was a bit autumn or cool when we were doing that one. But he was okay. It's like, okay, are we done with this? Like, some of them are like that. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know, well, I'm sure I had treats. I usually have treats in my pocket, but some aren't treat driven, and he just wanted to be done with it.
Yeah. But it looks like you got the photo you needed, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah. And like, this is just an example of the photo. Like, it'd be a lot bigger than that, I assume.
Yeah, like this is for usually my portfolio. So what happens is I just put that down there, and then when people are flipping through my portfolio, they can sort of say, oh, you get what you see kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always very helpful.
And you said this is in pastel. And do you do that for a specific reason, for like realism? Or?
Well, the pastel I call is my high-end one. Because yes, you get the realism, you can put a lot of layers with pastel, and then it gives you the touchy-feely look.
Let's go look at another one. How about this little guy? Who's this?
This is Ricky. It's stuck
Together. That's fine.
And that was the one I was telling you that would always fall on the floor. And you can see his little tooth was all out, and he was just a little mischief maker. And you probably can see the difference in quality over the years, because that's about 20 years ago or 15 years ago. So my quality has grown a lot, my skill has grown a lot, but he still has his attitude. You can still see it in there.
Oh, it's lovely, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to move on to the next one. We're flying through. I love it. So these pets look funny. They have less hair. I'm quite sure about these ones. Whose pets are these?
So these are a lady here in town who asked me to do her daughters, and they were done on those old concave frames where you used to find your old grandparents or aunts and uncles on. Like, this is a long time ago. And so she wanted me to do them on the, so they would fit in the frame. And I thought, well, that's kind of cool. Okay, fine. So she brings me the frame, but the actual paper that it was on was concave as well. So not only did I have to paint the portraits and get the likeness of the girls, which when you're doing humans is the challenge because they got to look like them, is I had to figure out how to, it had the old pictures on it. One was a baby, one was a guy. I can't remember what the other one was. And so I had to learn how to sand it and put a certain medium on the back of it and whatnot so the pastel would stick to it. So there was some research on how to get those done. And then she wanted it in sepia as well. So you're really just you're getting all this done with one basic color. So I think they turned out really well. And they were big. They weren't, they were about this big. So it was pretty challenging, but she loved it. Did we put them in? We put them in together. She came here and we put them in the frames together. And then she took them home. I'm not sure if her daughters were as happy with them as she was. You know, kids, I don't look like me. But I think they turned out really well, actually. I think they turned out good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I like them. They're very nice.
But the people, when people come to look through my portfolio, the people are in the middle. My pets are my pets. I love my pets. I'll do people, but I like pets.
Okay, well, we can get rid of this one. No, that's really great. So you have these commissions, right? And then you're often sending them to places. Do you have an idea of like what's like a faraway place that you've sent a commission to?
The farthest probably is down around New Orleans, New York. I think I've sent some down to San Francisco, Toronto, BC. So yeah, I have let's say North America.
What do we got next? Ooh, I think this came up earlier, right?
This is the Rottweiler I was mentioning earlier, where the guy, did I mention this earlier?
Sure.
He phoned me at Christmas time because his girlfriend got me to do this for commission. And I believe this one had passed. And he phoned me Christmas Day because it was a Christmas present. And he was crying on the phone. And he was, thank you. I love it. He says, I love it so much. And he was talking to me about it. And I was just, it gets you right here. Like, it got me that I'm glad that when someone, I don't want to make them cry. But if they cry, I know I've done my job. So, and very many times I have clients who come and pick them up and they can't speak. There's tears in their eyes. They walk away. They just look at it and they just walk away. Like, it's just so heart-wrenching for them sometimes when their pets have passed and they see it. So I was happy. That was that's often what I get when I give my pets away.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. 'Cause, like pets are like people's children a lot of times. I
Right?
mean,
They're
get very,
family.
yeah, they get attached.
They're
and-
your family, and they don't usually talk back in the way that our own families do. So we have a special place in their heart for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems like there's something maybe a little more special about a painting, a portrait, than just a photo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're capturing that memory, that personality that, you know, they can look back on too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It also feels like very intentional, right? Because they have to find your work and seek you out, and then, you know,
Yeah.
pay you to make a portrait, like a commission. So, yeah, then that excitement, you know. I think you were telling us when we were setting up that, like, you know, if it's not quite ready, you like send them like a card or something, like for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, because most of my clients like this, you know, if it's Christmas time, I try to get them. I try to get them to order in August, get on the list. No. It's like a month, maybe. They all start coming to see me, and then, of course, it's just me. But I do offer them, you know, I'll do a little card up that they can wrap up and give to their person that they want to give it to. Then the person can open that up, and then they can watch it online when they're next in line. They can watch it progress. And then after that, then they get the real thing. So it's like 3 in 1. It's a good deal.
Oh, yeah. How long have you been doing that process?
Probably quite a few years, about the last 5 or 6 years, something like that. Yeah. Had to get creative.
Right. Necessity.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and I like that too, because then it gets them more anticipation.
Well,
and it's like,
And you don't want them to go somewhere else, right?
True,
You don't want them to go somewhere else, so you try to give them some options.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Oh, what's
That's
this
my
one?
latest one that I'm just finishing up. That's Missy and Molly. Mentioned before, this is the one that's mischievous and tried to get all the treats out of my pocket. And Missy is the little demure one. She's so cute. So they're done in watercolor, and I just had my client come to see him when I was at the show on the weekend, and she was very happy with them. So I just have some finishing up to do, a little more contrast, finishing up some colors, and they'll be good to go home.
Great. So this is mostly done then?
Yeah, it's mostly done.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. I guess maybe it's different for each one, but like, do you have a way that you start each one? Is it with like the eyes, or is it like an outline? Or?
Sometimes I start with the eyes, sometimes I put the eyes in later. So it just depends on the feel of it. Or if I'm at a show and I'm doing it, then I find that I put the eyes in first so that people get an idea of it. They understand it. So, yeah.
Okay, so sometimes you're actually painting when you're at the shows.
Oh,
too.
yes, yes,
Nice.
because then people can see that it's me. I'm the one.
You're the one, yeah. That's great. Since it's here was our last one, why don't we talk about this lovely little fellow?
Oh, this one here, he doesn't really have a name, but when I'm at a show during Christmas time, I can't really bring the portraits because they're all Christmas presents. So then I bring some and I do them up. And this guy's in pastel. And so I'll be taking him to some of my shows to finish him up this year as well.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's lovely. Perry liked this photo, so I wanted to make sure we included that one. Cute little guy.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, well, I really appreciate you showing us all your art.
Oh, well, thank you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
This has been fun.
Yeah. So I think that's all the time we have for this segment. So this has been On Location with Mac and Perry. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and this is...
Cindy.
Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time.
It's Mac and Perry in the place. Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry.
Go live to create.
Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry invite you to stay.